Come on in the room. Welcome to FinOps in Full Bloom. I'm Thalia, your friendly neighborhood fam, and today, it's me and you today. Yeah, just me and you chatting it up, talking. I wanted to take a minute. We've had so many of these podcast episodes recorded. Some of them have been published, and I want to review them. I want to do a recap video. Let's recap together. But what's a recap? We do a review without a preview. I mean, there are some videos in the queue that are super exciting. So I want to give you a preview into some of those as well. We'll do a couple different takeaways, my top takeaways, what touched my heart, wrap it on up. And at the end, because you and I are so cool, I'll give you a teaser. Yes, a teaser to the next episode that we'll be releasing. Yes, you've got all of it. We've got all the things. We're going to spend some time together. If you're new to this whole FinOps in Full Bloom podcast, welcome and perfect timing, because you'll be able to get what touched my heart in one of the episodes or a few episodes that really did touch my heart. And then you can hop in and catch up and be with the rest of us. Leave some comments, have a conversation, join the community. Yeah? So I'll give you an idea of how it's all going to flow. We're going to have a review, and then we're going to have the preview segment, and then Thalia's top takeaways. I'll do a wrap up, and then you'll have your teaser video. How's that feel? Feel good? Let's hop in, starting with the review. First up, I could not start a review of all the episodes without highlighting the Fred FinOps. I mean, we had the Fred FinOps on set, in person, to chat, full Flintstone shirt and everything. You know, his real name is Larry Advey, and he is actually part of CloudZero team now. Ha, look at that. So his title is Director of Cloud Platform and FinOps. Of course, it's going to have FinOps in the name. I mean, it's Fred FinOps. So what did I find so exciting about this episode is, one, we have someone who has been a client. So he was with Twilio, and Twilio collaborated with CloudZero and used the CloudZero platform. So he was a client. And then he shifted in his next job journey to actually working as an employee, as a teammate with CloudZero. That journey is amazing, and you're going to see it when you hop into the video. But stay here, we'll do a quick recap for you. So when we were in the episode chatting it up in person on set, one of the things that I asked is before CloudZero and after CloudZero, when he was living in his Twilio world, collaborating with us. And he shared that before CloudZero, there's a transition that happens in the platform when you use it. So before, there was fragmented data, and it was across different locations. What's the data? Where's the data? Is basically where we're at. After CloudZero, single pane of glass visibility. His words, not mine. This is Scout's honor, but I'm not a scout. What am I doing? But he did say it. And I think that's a great thing, because as a client, to understand that CloudZero's value add is actually being realized, that's potent and powerful. And we get the how when he talks about it in the video. One of the things that I thought was interesting was his journey. So now he's impressed with CloudZero as a client. And in his next role, for where he wants to go in his next life, we're talking about, where are you going to go in your next career? Over to CloudZero. Of course, come on over. The water's fine. Great. So now that he's a director here in CloudZero, I'm super excited to understand, why did you choose CloudZero? What was the reasoning? And hearing him talk about how he wanted to build from within. FinOps is a culture. Yes, it's the framework, it's a culture. But clearly, when you're talking about instituting a new culture, you're talking about change and implementing change. And as Fred FinOps, he wants to drive. And so here he wants to drive change. He wants to strengthen the AI-driven platform that is CloudZero to really make sure that we're focusing on business value for different perspectives. So I love that we're bringing Fred FinOps into CloudZero. And I think that it's going to be really exciting, his journey. One of the things that makes it, it's going to be a win-win, because his motto is what is it? I want to make sure I get it right. From zero to value. How could you not love this Fred FinOps moment? From zero to value? Check it out yourself. Roll tape.
How do you go from looking at your 50,000 foot cloud bill, right? Maybe multi-millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars or whatever, right? This mountain of costs down to, well, where's this actually, what does this mean and why? What's the context? And CloudZero is able to provide that very easily and quickly. So this thought I've had around getting from zero to value with CloudZero is tremendously fast, and it's getting faster. And the ability to iterate on what you can build within the platform, again from zero to value is very, very quickly. And I say build because the CloudZero platform is extraordinarily powerful, but it's also very accessible. It's simplified versus the other players in the market. Mm-hmm. And if you think it's overwhelming, that bonus one I was talking about was really the customer success team at CloudZero.
Welcome back. Second up, are you ready for another review? Sure you are. Here, we're going to go outside of CloudZero into another space. We're going to go to an influencer, Eric Norman from Caligo. He uses FinOps. So today we're talking about FinOps, right? And how he's using it before and after. And it's interesting to hear because FinOps, when it's implemented, those kind of results are transformative. What was it before he introduced FinOps? Eric talks about how there were these workloads that were really, really overworked. I mean, 1,000% over the estimated cost. 1,000%? How do you even approach that? When you're working with a team and they estimate costs and then you actually get the invoice and it's exceeding beyond your wildest estimations, being able to take a look at that and decide what your next steps are going to be, that's the secret sauce. His secret sauce is in the video, but I'll give it to you right now. It's to be able to look at the infrastructure, the full pipeline. We're really talking about from the data center over into the cloud backend, over to the end user. And sometimes I think we really do stay in that little window of just the cloud part. But it's important to understand that if you're working with hybrid companies, that's going to be impacting your actual invoice, as well as end users. Where are those edge locations and how are they impacting your invoice? So I love that he strings it right along and he looks for business value. Eric's big motto is making sure that you're drilling in to business value. So here he says, follow the value. So let's take a look. Roll tape.
The business value of these workloads that were, I think, 1,000 times more expensive than the original estimate before migration.
It's a FinOps horror story right now. It's going to have a happy ending. The numbers are amazing, but I just need to get to the path. I'll give you the ending now so you don't freak out, team. 98.4%, you said, was it, Eric? Cost reduction. So the question is, how and where did you notice to go to on-prem? Did you follow the white rabbit? Like,
I did just, how can I say, take the specifications for granted. I asked, what is the business value behind every specification?
Nice.
So rather than saying we'll have 10 million requests per month, I asked, what for? So what's the purpose of these requests? And then I started looking into it and I realized they were all the same request and all the same answer, basically. Is there an update? No. Is there an update? No. Is there an update? No. So that was the problem number one. And it was actually took them one afternoon to fix this, more or less, as a proof of concept. Because rather than having a loop that says, get an update, they subscribe to a notification when there was an update.
So they get a push notification instead of just pulling and tapping and pinging all day. Yep. What? Listen.
Yep. Yeah.
I told you it was good. All right. So now we're going to shift. New segment, previews. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm excited because This is a surprise, and I love surprises. None of you have seen these videos yet. Yes, we've recorded them. Yes, I have chatted with the actual guests, but you haven't seen them yet. We'll be releasing them, but I don't want you to wait. I want to give you a little bit of taste now. So inside of the preview section, first up, I had to start the preview section with Tyler Lynch of HashiCorp. I might as well call this tips from Tyler. This whole episode, get your notes because it is going to be informative and helpful. You get all the FinOps tips in here. First of all, what I loved about Tyler is that he states that he regularly, has savings of 5% to 28% by aligning value. Regularly is a powerful, powerful statement to say. So I'll make sure that I write down what exactly he did, and I wanted to make sure that I captured it for you. So I'm going to read this off. One of the tips that he had is making sure that he makes business decisions based on SLA and risk tolerance. I was blown in this moment, heroes, because when we're talking about cost, do we really go by the security room and have conversations when we're talking about reducing costs? I haven't heard that very much. But to be able to talk about SLA contracts, what are the contract and what are we required to deliver? What is the risk tolerance and how will that impact how we deliver the amount of infrastructure and the thresholds that he goes in. I'm telling you, it's super interesting. So there I got 2 different tips. 1, 2 different resources that I didn't know about before. So I'm going to read them off for you. I know them now and I've looked them up, but I want to make sure I give you this little bit of a tip. Spot pools and capacity rebalance notifications. I know. I'm talking, what am I saying? I'm telling you, check out the interview. When it comes out, you're going to love the episode. It's tips on tips and tips for you. So with this, there's a use case that he had where he was dealing with data and compute. And spoiler alert, spot pools and the notifications are part of the solution. Here is the actual result of that solution. We're talking about 96% cost reduction. Absolutely. 96%. This isn't they went away on holiday. They actually lowered the costs, not because they were not meeting demand. They just moved more efficiently by picking the right tech that aligned to business value. So his real big takeaway is making sure that you're meeting business outcomes. And if you want to overexceed and you're not impacting the invoice, great. But actually decide what you can do to streamline your infrastructure to meet those SLAs. It was so interesting. I found it to be one of the sessions where I wanted to take several many notes. So get your notepad out, get your pen, get your app out, your notes app, rotate. I have 3 words, okay? Just listen. 96% cost reduction.
Well, so this is when we start to move beyond what I would call FinOps 101, which is right-sizing your instances, right-sizing your load balancer, right-sizing your read capacity units on Dynamo. This moves into the engineering of software engineering. Are you choosing the right technology for the outcome you need to achieve? So at AWS, this is a customer, and they had professional services teams that had built, essentially, it's a data transformation from Amazon Redshift into DynamoDB.
Okay.
Billions and billions of records, and they need to be updated with change data capture. We ran the process with this driver, with this driver, with this driver, and this technology, this technology, this technology. And I ran those 3 times each and kept the medians. And I'm like, okay, well, now I've got the fastest one. Is that the most performant? And can I adjust a CPU or RAM on this map? But the salient point is choosing the right technology.
Yes.
Because what they had functionally kind of worked, but not all the time. Redoing it in a way that really considered the time complexity of every operations, especially at scale. 7 billion records need to get processed into the system. That matters.
That's fresh. So fresh. Time complexity. Okay, you're back. Second preview. Are you ready? I feel like we've been on this journey, right? We started off with a CloudZero director, and we moved over to a number of two different people who were outside of CloudZero but used the FinOps framework and how they're instituting it. And now, with this last preview, I'd like to bring you back to someone who's inside of CloudZero, an actual employee. And it's our newest customer success employee, Anderson Oliveira. So he's FinOps account manager, brand new, and we wanted to interview him to get an insight into, again, why did you choose CloudZero? You know, all of these different perspectives. Oliveira is big in Brazil in FinOps. You know, we're starting with Fred FinOps, and he's big in FinOps here in the US. Oliveira is big in Brazil. So really, I'd love to get like global in this idea. Why did you choose CloudZero? So we start off with, I love his reasoning. He wanted to really implement FinOps across multiple organizations, work with multiple different personas and maturities. When you're working in one company, you know, you're implementing FinOps, but just through that one company, you have these personas. And once you get to know this person reacts this way, you know, you've developed your kind of rhythm. As a FinOps account manager, I'll share that I have to switch gears with every new client that I hop in with. You know, my lens changes, my ears have to change, I have to listen for different things. And so there's a flexibility in FinOps because I'm still applying it. And that's what Oliveira found interesting. Anderson found it interesting that he wanted to find out just how flexible FinOps is and how to apply it into all the different use cases. And so working with CloudZero gave him that opportunity. Also, I was interested. I mean, you're implementing this in your company, and Anderson has been in FinOps in role after role after role across companies, plural. So, what's the formula? That's what we find out. We get the FinOps formula from Anderson Oliveira. Roll tape.
CloudZero will give me the opportunity to be exposed to many different use cases.
Yes.
We, as FinOps practitioner, we have in our heads very clearly what the framework looks like.
Yes.
You have very clear what the end game looks like. Now, what is interesting and looks like a puzzle to me, and I love to solve puzzles, is how do you take the existing pieces of the company or organization puzzle, reshuffle or rearrange them in order to achieve what the framework tells us is the right thing to do?
Welcome back. Well, you see, while you were watching, I went and got myself a little mug here, and we wanted to go a little bit more intimate, a little personal. What's my personal takeaways? So we're over at Thalia's top takeaways. I've met with each one of these guests. We've looked eye to eye and chatted, and I've heard their stories. One of the biggest things about this podcast, the heart of it, is really learning what the strategies are. And really because everyone's asking, what is everyone else doing? And that's why this is such an important moment to be able to have opportunity in this podcast to make space for us to tell each other our stories and to learn how to move forward. So my takeaways after speaking with all these people, they're pretty potent. I have a few. So tuck in, get your chai ready, and I'll walk you through them. First one is visibility from a persona's perspective is crucial. When you're going into FinOps, and it's important to know what you want to change because FinOps brings change. It's a culture. And being able to relate to different personas is absolutely crucial. So giving that visibility to ignite that persona through their perspective, that can really overcome "it's not my problem" syndrome. Really, in so many of these situations, communication is that path that leads to cost impacts and profitability. So being able to speak to that persona, have conversations that say, you know, what are you thinking? How are you approaching this task? What is your business value? What's the value add of this feature product? What do you love about it? What are we trying to delight the customer with? Oh, okay, great. I love that. How are we doing that? And so let's collaborate with engineering to make sure that we're delighting the customer from your vision in the wireframe to the end user. Being able to speak to different personas and give them visibility into their spend based on what they care about, absolutely crucial, because it shifts them from not my problem to accountability, which I love. Second takeaway would be the agility in FinOps. It's like a dance, really. I mean, I dance. I dance all the time in my cultures. We all dance, and I know that there's a leading and a following that happens in a dance, and FinOps creates that agility in you to be able to adapt to different moments. Certain moments you would need to take a seat, open your ears, and get your notepad out. Open that notes app and take notes. You need to follow. Follow where the actual data flows in that pipeline with the Eric Norman story. Yeah. Also, being able to follow in what the logic is for using certain parts of infrastructure or tools, which is what I was telling you with Tyler's episode. Next, you might need to switch gears and take the lead and actually decide where you're taking this, which is really what I learned from Thalia Elie or Fred FinOps. Or implement changes with a specific formula that you put on repeat. And that's Anderson Oliveira. So each one of these episodes really led me to the agility of FinOps. Oliveira was testing out the flexibility, and the FinOps framework stands up because it's not so rigid. It allows for different people to exist, and it requires us to collaborate, which is crucial for any win. We win together. Also, speaking of together, one takeaway that I had was that FinOps people, they like to mentor. They really do. So get yourself in the community. It is an open community, very welcoming. You can create your own meetups. You can attend meetups. You can join different work groups and work on things. Or you can create a culture within your own community and your company for FinOps as well. I did a guest meeting with Bindu Sharma. She's with Teradata. She's a leader in Teradata. And if you listen, Google her, check her on YouTube. She's all over. She's been on several conference stages and FinOps X twice, 2022 and 2024. Bindu Sharma is passionate about mentoring people. Eric Norman, watch this episode. He gives so many cute phrases. I mean, like, very nice. Take it, get some Post-it notes, write them down, and put them throughout your apartment. They're motivators. They help you keep focused. Put it on your monitor at different areas on your desk because it helps you. He gives little pieces of wisdom for you to succinctly remember so that it can align your vision on how you can continue to drive what? Value. And that's what a mentor does. Mentors try to find ways to really add value to your life and share their experiences. So Eric Norman and Bindu Sharma had definitely shared inside of our interviews that they love to mentor, but there are many more. So my takeaway would be get into the community. People want to mentor you. Get into it. Okay? All right, last segment. We're going to roll up to the wrap up. The recap wrap up. What are the things that I gained overall from just this recap? I know in my takeaways, these were things that I think I learned from each one. But when I see all of our episodes as a whole, it really gave me a sense that there was something succinct. When I look at all of the episodes as a whole, my sense is FinOps is about three things. It's about visibility. It's also about empowerment, giving you the community and the communication, the words to be able to reach across the table and connect with the next person so that you can move forward. And it's about value. You put those three together and you're on the path to success. I think it sounds like it's a simple journey. It is a longer journey. Grab a tent, get a book bag, get your mug. But if we do it together, there's an African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And that's really something that I learned when I come across all of the people that I've met. Also, curiosity, coupled with communication, that's a win. It's as important as data. You may think that the cost is going to come by simply, or cost reduction may come by simply cutting data or cutting resources, but really making the impact comes when you're able to communicate and get clarity on what the business value is. And once you have that communication, it's as valuable as data. And then you'll be able to ignite people and personas into the change that you want to make. I suggest opening yourself up to having more conversations, asking questions in a way to discover. Some people have found the experience that they're willing to share more when people are genuinely curious about how things work from their side of the world, from their lens. Final takeaway, it's going to be a CloudZero one because I have to. I must. All of these people have come in and CloudZero has been transformative to them, or the use of FinOps, which CloudZero empowers, has been transformative for them. So CloudZero is a really great component. It enables teams to have that cross-team collaboration and communication with the alerting, with the budgets, with the reports that notify, with the reports that help you to actually have a visible view into your specific lens. So CloudZero platform offers that cross-team collaboration. And I found that through all of these stories, it's been a bridge from really confusion in your cloud cost to cloud cost clarity. And you really cross that bridge together with your FinOps account manager. And along that journey, there have been so many wins. And some of the wins are relational and some of them are bottom line, but all of them lead towards business efficiency and value. And that kind of clarity you can get with that single pane of view and a platform that supports it, like CloudZero. All right, heroes, it's been a wrap. We've had such a good time. I'm going to take us to the last piece. I promise you a teaser, and I'm not going to back off of it. You and I are going to watch a little bit of what's coming. I'll give you a little teaser, and then if you can, I'd love to see you leave in the comment which one was your favorite. Definitely. Drop it in the comments. What's your favorite episode that you've seen? Like, share, subscribe, and make sure that we know where you're blooming. So, one last time to see what the preview is, we'll do a little teaser. Rotate! You're back up on the costs that you found are already hidden to me. So, your version of hidden costs, I must hear.
So the hidden costs that often sneak up on you are the ones that aren't giant jumps. So when you have like a bunch of servers that need to get bigger and they fan out or something, you notice that. Like you notice that there's this really abrupt change in your spend or your utilization. These things are easy for humans and for machines to find. Great. What about the things that slowly burn and build up over time? So the one I love to point to people is logs. So CloudWatch log groups in Amazon, by default, don't have an expiration. They're there forever.
Oh.
But you don't see that. All you see is your CloudWatch log bill slowly getting larger. And you think, well, that's normal. I got more people on it. What people don't realize is they're holding those logs forever. And so what I generally say is, hey, for production, you might want to hold logs for up to 30 days. I know some customers just do 7 days because it's just the velocity of logs would be too much. So start putting time to live on your log, whether it be Splunk, CloudWatch, anything. how far do you really need to go back? And if you don't know, go look at your support tickets.
Absolutely.
Go figure out how often do we actually go back into the logs and look for things.
Welcome back. Did you like it? Stay tuned. That's going to be coming to you. Like, share, subscribe. Come on in. Check out more videos. Keep watching and let us know what else you'd like to see. We'd love to hear it. See you later, heroes.